right, guys, welcome back to the Imaxit YouTube channel. I'm your host, JD. If you're new, please do smash that like button, share, and definitely subscribe. I've been a lot of trouble when it comes on to the internet. All right, so if we have any little glitches here, hopefully you do understand. We're going to be doing a player rating. Jamaica won 2-0 over Grenada. A red card to Welsh. Going into the final game, we have to discuss a lot. I'm going to drop the link so people can come straight in and give their take as to what they saw in the game. All right, because I never gave Jason a chance, so I will put the link right here to see if he could get it. All right, because it's a lot. It's all sorts of things happening to my account. All right, massive respect. Because I don't even have any ads on this one. I'm very disappointed. I will keep it right there and let me pull up the thing for the vote, the information, so we can get it. All right. So this is the thing on the side. All right. So yeah, big up Kevin. Kevin, Issa, big up yourself, yeah, man. Big win. So with this win, it serves Jamaica goes on 6 points. 6 points. With Martinique defeating Bermuda today, it puts Jamaica at the top, but Jamaica doesn't qualify. Remember, it's only one team goes through, so Jamaica will go in with the advantage over Bermuda, being on 3 points. Bermuda will have to win the game in order to have a shot to go through. Jamaica has to get a draw out of the game in order to win the group, so at least a draw would be okay. All right, let me know if you, based on what you saw from them, if a draw is good enough. JD, who is the number 9? We're going to get to the number 9. You say they don't have any sound. Why would they not have any sound? My system is working. I can tell if sound not coming through or anything. As the sound is coming through, perfectly fine. All right. I enjoyed the first 10 minutes of the game. All right. So a lot of things happen in the game. Let me just go to the lineup. Let me go to the lineup first. Give the lineup to you. So the lineup was Tawi and Lynch, not in this order still. Simmonds was actually the forward. Romy and Blake was one of the defenders. Adrian Reid was one of the midfielders. Barrett was the left back. And Ayer Dixon was one of the centre backs as well. Christopher Ainsworth was the left midfielder. Denzel McKenzie was somewhere in the middle. And Welsh was one of the midfielders. So it was Welsh and Adrian Reid as the midfielders, and then I think Denzel McKenzie would be the attacking midfielder. And Dustin Cohen was over the right-hand side, and Rabina Garden was drifting over the right midfield side. All right, so it was more of a 4-4-2 or a 4-4, I would say a 4-4-1-1 system. Yes, that's how it looks. All right, yes. So are you guys impressed? Let me know. I can hear. I know you can hear. I know you can hear. I think someone just trying to mess up my stream. Our YouTube is just messing with me overall and let me lose my thing. I am very disappointed that because of a difference in opinion, your moderator would put me on timeout. I'm very sorry. I will make you a moderator as well. I never knew that you weren't a moderator here. I don't know what happened. Yes, and I want to stop this fight every day because sometimes I just want to give my point. And look at my point is lost. All right. No, you don't need to leave in the community. If I leave the community and nobody is here, what community would I have? I wouldn't have a community. So what the sense? All right, you know what? Let me just talk about the game and then go to sleep because I'm gonna lose my mind. All right, I'm gonna lose my mind. All right, yeah. Anyways, so they won the game. They won the game, and that is important. It puts them in a good position. Bermuda will put up a little bit of better challenge because they're a better passing team. They have finishers on their team as well. So maybe it could be a hiccup for us, but I do believe that we should be good enough to get over the line against Bermuda. We should, because we get enough game times now, enough reps. All right, so we should be good enough to get it over the line. All right. No player was impressive, but I've not given anybody anything, I'm going to start now. I'm going to start now with the rating thingy. I'm going to start now with the rating thingy. I'm going to start now with the rating thingy. The link is right. The link is at the top. I don't know if the link is pinned. All right, let me put the link again for the StreamYard, and then let me try pin it with my phone, because StreamYard is I don't know what's going on with this thing. I don't know if you're trying to hack my channel again. Maybe what's his name again is working hard on my channel. Football Guru is trying to bring me down hard because he's upset that I reached exactly where I was before. So Football Guru fighting against my thing. Let me hold his name down. Yeah, so anyways, I'm just gonna go through my player rating, and then let Jason go ahead. Go ahead, Jason. Go ahead. Say a piece, and then I can get to the player rating.
All right, big up JD, big up everyone in the chat. Yeah, well done to the Reggae young boys. Glad they got the 3 points. Made it a little tougher than it needed to be towards the end. Sad that we had to play with 10 men again. But I think if there's anything to learn from the last 2 games, maybe at this level, we need to maybe protect the players a bit more because they're younger. Maybe they don't have the ability to play on a card for so long. So that's the only advice maybe I would give Wall for the future. I mean, it would be tough to take off Welsh because he was doing very well in the midfield, but sometimes maybe just getting through the game with another player might have helped, because now we don't have him for the last game. Kudos to the players that came in. I thought they did well. I thought Simmonds did well coming into the front line. I thought Cohen did well on the right side. I thought Gordon did well at right back. Hopefully, now that Gordon has shown that he maybe can hold that position, we can see McKay and Blake play in the centre-back for the last game. I think that would be the best centre-back pairing that we have. So hopefully we can see him play there instead of right-back, because I don't think he was comfortable out there either. Even though he had a decent game, I think he looked a lot better when he played centre-back in the Trinidad tour. But yeah, just happy that the boys got the 2 wins. That's the most important thing. So 6 points from 2. And as you said, Bermuda should be a tougher test than today. So 1 day of recovery again, and we move again in a couple of days.
Okay. All right. So let me move on to a player rating. The player rating is just to give a quick summary of what took place on the field. Nothing to derate anyone or any stuff. I have to put that thing right at the front. Yes. So Jason, would you want to go through the players, run through the players fast, because we only have 30 minutes to do this. All right, maybe I will go because I heard noise in the background. So let me continue. So let me start with the goalkeeper, Lynch. Lynch, he had to come on this box a few times just to push people to position, but he never had the same amount of things as before to do, the same amount of pressure to cover. So I do think maybe he would get a less rating for me. I would give Lynch maybe a standard 6.5. 6.5 just to come on the box. His distribution was good. His intention of passing the ball out from the back and keep the game under control was what I expected. All right. Yes.
Yeah, JD. So for Lynch, sorry about that noise just now. For Lynch, I would say I'd probably give him a 7. Clean sheet, handle the ball well, under composure when he got the ball. Looking like he's pretty much nailed down the spot as the starter for now. So yeah, I'll say a 7 for him.
Okay. Pastor, you're here. You want to go through the numbers them, or you want to give a quick summary of what you saw of the game? Which one?
You can continue going through the numbers that you're going through.
Okay.
Despite what's in the chat, we all saw the game, so I don't think we need to fight with anybody over that.
Okay, good. All right. So, Truth-Tell, please, can you just stop asking about Whisper, man? I don't really care much, man. The other kids then play, man. Truth-Tell, man. So let me just focus on other kids, then, man. It's getting annoying now, man. Let these kids just play football and learn something. And we saw something that we learned today, and we want to give it back to the fans, them what we learned. All right. Yes. You asked me the same question before, and you come and ask me the same question. He's going to play in the U20s and U21s and learn something over there. All right. That's what he's going to do. So let him do what he's doing. And whenever he's good enough, he comes here and play. All right. Yes. So let me move on to the other kids then. Because I'm kind of tired right now, man. It's like every stream they come with these things, man. Adrian Reed. What? No, we stay with the back line because I don't know what happened to the Concacaf. Romy and Blake. What you made of Romy and Blake?
So Romain Blake for me, he was solid. I still feel like at times, as you said, JD, it's like he almost think he above it because he tends to keep the ball like a split second too late and get the pass cut out. But he was under control today. Didn't go as long as normal as the first game, which was better. He was finding Welsh and Reed in the midfield and his wing back. So for Blake, I don't think he came under so much pressure, but it was a clean sheet, so I'll have to give him a 7.
All right, I would agree. I agree. He was slightly better today, but he still goes into traffic and make it easier for them to take the ball away from him. So I think he needs to clean up that. And he could be better in the next game if he can just clean up those simple things. Because sometimes I think that we were giving them opportunities back into the game when we never needed to do so, and it's because of those driving runs from defense when we already have a midfield set, and the player is there waiting for the ball, has the space, and we still need to drive to the player when we could have just passed it to the player. And that is one of the problems I'm seeing with Blake right here. So that's why I'm okay with if I give him a 7 and stuff, because he did make some good stops, and he made a good stop in the first half when Grenada maybe would have scored from that last ditch tackle that he made.
Yeah,
so
cut out a pass.
That's where I would say that he gets the 7 because of that one block, because I believe that they would have scored off that one.
Yeah. I think the part of his game that needs improving is to actually see the pass that is there to be made before him actually receiving the ball. So as you said, the midfield is already set and waiting on the pass, but because of his, it might be a little bit of his confidence overriding the decision, the timing of the decision that he makes. He's confident that he can protect the ball, so that might be playing up a little bit in the time it takes him to get rid of it. I don't think he believes at this level, playing with the guys around him, that they're going to so dominate him that he cannot hold on to the ball and protect it.
Okay. That's 2. Let me move on to Ayer Dixon. Ayer Dixon is the third one. Ayer Dixon, Jason, go ahead and Ayer Dixon.
All right, Ayer Dixon. Was solid. I said for the game I would be looking out to see what kind of development he has made from the U17, because I thought he was a bit I wouldn't say he was one of the best defenders at that competition. But I do think today he handled himself well. Didn't look out of place. Didn't look like the pace was bigger than him. He had one decision that was a bit head scratching towards the end of the game, where he went through the player to win a header, which wasn't really needed. But I'm not looking for that. I thought for the rest of the game he was pretty composed. I didn't really see him go long much, which was good. He found a pass pretty much every time. And I would say that his passes were even a little more short than Blake at times. So, I thought he did well.
Thank you.
I would have to give him a 7 as well.
I would say that if I'm going to take back 5.5 or 0.2 from Blake, because I think Ayer Dixon was actually better in his decision making. Like, he knows exactly what he wants to do and what he can't do, based on how he assessed the players them in front of him, and he tried to make sure he did the right things at the right time,
Yeah.
So he was never trying to overdo it.
Yeah, JD, it's the classic case of one player like knowing that this level is his level, and the other one saying, I want to prove I am at this level.
Yes.
And that is really what the difference was. Blake was way more nonchalant on the ball and got caught on it a few times. Ayer Dixon didn't let that happen. He just wanted to play simple.
Yes, so I would
to put it a little bit different, but pretty much saying the same thing. I think Blake was in his mind trusting himself, while Dixon was trusting the team being there. So once the pass is there, all of us together can get it done. So I don't want to depend on me and then anything bad happens. So he's actually looking for the pass ahead of or in better timing than Blake in my mind. So and that's why Jason, it would come across that he actually was making the passes better than Blake, because that split second time that Blake held on to the ball is what he would have used to make the pass. So less of his passes were cut out because he's ahead of the play rather than Blake playing it at the same time when the player is arriving or behind the play. So I would go 6.75 and 7 Blake Dixon.
Okay, let me move on. To the others. All right, so we'd have to go over to the right back side.
Yeah, that would have been number 7. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been Rabina Garden, yeah, Rabina Garden.
Yeah, so Rabina Garden, I thought he played pretty good. I thought he a couple of times maybe his positioning, he got a little overzealous in the attack. And, we had to cover that side. Blake did a good job covering for him on those occasions. But other than the positioning mishaps, I thought he was pretty good. Kept hold on to the ball, didn't go too wild, with his passing. Linked up pretty decent with Cohen on the right side, and then later with Reynolds. And I think he was just one of those players that, didn't really do much wrong in the game. Won most of his duels and stuff. So I would say on a back line with a clean sheet, I'm probably not going to give him any less than a 7, like his number. So I'll give him a 7.
I would say a fair game. So I wouldn't give him a 7 as I gave Dixon, but I wouldn't be dropping maybe 6.75, but certainly not below 6.5, because I think he had a balanced game and a little bit more assuredness or sensibility from his partner, especially Reynolds, would have made him look better too.
Truth tell, but sometimes I just don't like to hear about a player. Because I hear about a player more than what he does on a field. So sometimes it gets annoying because when we are paying attention to other people's fitness, I think I respect that a lot more, because I come here to do a job, to talk about every player, not to be a propagandist, and I feel like I'm overdoing it. If he does something, I will talk about him, but not every day, man. I kind of, I don't think it's worth it to talk about that kid every day. I don't think so. So I want to talk about the rest of the kids that's doing something. When he does something, I will be the first one doing it. But I'm not the over the top person. So if I answered it once, that's enough, Yeah. Because that's why I was beating the pillow on him today. So let me move on to Mr. Barrett. Mr. Barrett, no, Jason. Mr. Barrett. Mr.
Yes.
Barrett, number 6.
Yes,
Barrett.
Mr.
How you would
Barrett.
assess his game?
Yeah, so all right. I think he coped a little bit better with the position today. Still don't think he looks the most comfortable, but I think that because he's a midfielder, he kind of can get away with it at times. Have to definitely give him a few extra marks for that finish and the goal. A lot of times a player will look up and see that and just fail to execute it, but it was executed very well by him. So kudos to him for the finish. And because of that, I'm going to rate him a little higher than the rest of the back line. I'm going to go ahead and give him an 8 for his performance today. I thought he was pretty good. Solid.
Okay. 8.
I don't issue out the points as leisurely as Jason does. But you have to give score for the goals that are scored. So he scored a goal. I think he had a pretty balanced performance, but so the extra 5 points for the goal would probably set him at best at a 7.5 in my mind. Really, for me, I'm looking for a little bit more from my midfielders in terms of the decisions they make that relieve the pressure from the defense line. I thought in the game they were able to get back, in the attacking third or defensive third too easily. and that has to be down to the midfield not always holding as it should.
Okay, for me, I think he's a good player, but the position is really killing him every single time. It's like when Jamaica gets a red card, he seems to be better because now he gets a little space to come forward. Because every time Jamaica gets a red card, it seems that they drop someone else around there to make up the numbers as defenders. So they are genuinely three centre backs around there or so, or three of those players. So it forced him to be up the pitch a little bit more. So that little space make him can work a little bit better. That he doesn't have the look behind him, and that's why you know he's not a traditional fullback. You understand me? He's just struggling with the positioning. But every time he gets an opportunity out of the fullback spacing, he seems to look much better. So I don't want this kid to become a liability to the team when he has the quality. And just because this coach want to force man in the team, it seems like he's doing this every single time because it's not based off quality and it's not based off performances. Why he's putting other people in a position that this guy is actually playing good in. The second time in a row, is when we get a red card, it seems like it benefits him because when he comes up and play in his natural area, he seems to be better. And with that, I think I would have to give him because he got the goal in the end. The goal will bump him up to an 8.5. 8.5. I thought he was run a 7 or 6.8, but the goal at the time that he came, I have to give him an 8.5.
All right, JD, before you jump to the next player, and this is why the analytics sometimes is unfair to the player, because you literally bloom where you are planted, and so you judge his output in the position that he played for the longest period of time. But because this is not his best position, the analytics being true of him in that position is unfair to him. And so the reality is probably it would be best if we judge him in two portions and kind of separate to be fair to him. Because as you point out, the red card literally move him out of that position where he's not as fluid as he would have been personally. So he's actually playing two different games, so to speak.
Okay, fair enough. Let me just run because who else we haven't gotten as yet around the back. Everyone clears out of the back.
Yeah, that's the back line.
So Welsh, we're gonna go with Welsh now, and then we go to Adrian Reed. So Welsh and Adrian Reed, give your ratings of them, Jason.
All right. So Welsh, I thought on the ball was probably the most proficient player on the pitch. You saw there was I remember a play specifically. We won the ball in midfield, drove forward, beat like 4 people, and the whole time I'm thinking, damn, if I could just see this kid play closer to the goal, what we would unlock. But either way, he's playing a little deep on the pitch. I thought the 2 cards definitely spoiled the performance for him. And for that reason, I have to dock him. But before that, I was going to have him at a 7.58. Getting that second yellow at the time, Barrett definitely helped him out by scoring that goal and making it a little bit less crazy at the end. But because of the 2 yellows, I'm going to have to dock points and give him a 6. And then Adrian Reed Jr., I want more from him on the ball. I feel like there was so much space in this game today, and we didn't really take advantage. The couple times we put a couple passes together, you could see the space everywhere, and we just refused to do it, more than once or twice every 15, 20 minutes. So,
and you're gonna penalize Adrian Reed for that?
No, I'm not penalizing Adrian Reed for it. I'm just gonna penalize the way we set up and the way we play. I don't think it's really on the players, because when they do pass the ball a few times, it looks good, but they just don't consistently do it. So the players have the ability. I just don't know why we don't try to do it more. So I said Welsh gets a 6. I would probably give Adrian Reed a 7 for his performance today.
All right, JD, and this is where I want us to be careful in how we apply even the fact of the analysis that we employ. I believe Welch's cards is as a result of how the team was playing, especially when it's transitioning from under pressure to offense. So because there's no certainty with that, he goes harder than need to, and sometimes ended up being late. Especially the second yellow card that he got, I don't so much fault him for that. He's just not letting the player get to a position of greater danger against his team. So
Yeah,
he
but
was willing to
Pastor,
take one for the team.
but
Yeah?
Pastor, let's be honest. On that play, it's not him alone chasing the player. So when you see Adrian Reed chasing as well and you're on a yellow, just get away from the situation. Don't even give the referee no chance to even
J- J-
think.
Jason, Jason, that would have been the correct thing to do, but already set in a defensive mindset or posture, you are likely to commit yourself because you would rather it be you than the team itself suffer a greater loss. So I understand the point you're making. I'm just saying, you see, coaches can either advance the players or kill the players. And Jamaica's system has been guilty of paralyzing more players than it has been to literally get the best from more players. And that has been a constant across pretty much all of our teams. We have failed to put people in their best positions. We have failed to play systems that bring out the best in them. And so, for me, as a defensive player, I can understand. I believe the when the defense mechanism chips in a player and they go, for want of a better term, retro, where they will sacrifice themselves over and against expose the team. I too, JD, would want some more from Reed. You need to have a player that is going to take the responsibility and say, okay, the coach says this, the team is playing this, but I am on the field of play. And the fact that I am on the ground, I am going to trust my assessment of what is best for the team and execute. He may be penalized for it, but come at the man is something that he has to be prepared to do. Somebody has to lead this team, and I don't mean we're a captain's armband. Somebody just have to lead the team on the field.
Okay, fair enough. So we have we went through those two.
So my scores would be 6.5, 7 for Welch Reed.
All right. So then we go Mackenzie, Mackenzie and Dustin Cohen. We're going for.
All right. So I'll do Cohen first. Cohen, I thought did a good account of himself. I think in the second half he maybe faded a little bit from the first half performance, but I thought he did a good job of getting the best of his marker most times, getting in some crosses. Had good work rate on the right side as well. Didn't just stay up. Was willing to track back and help out if need be. So for him, I thought he was solid. Not one of the best players on the pitch, but didn't really do much wrong either. So I'd give him a 6.5 for Cohen. Mackenzie, I thought could have done much more with his time on the pitch in terms of execution. Definitely got himself about run around the pitch. I don't think that's ever been something that he's not willing to do. But I need more from my attacking midfielder in terms of end product. And I think a lot of times he got into good positions and just did not make the correct decisions and did not execute his decision either. So, I need to see more from him. I would have to say probably one of the lowest scores on the day, probably a 6 I would have to give him.
All right. I'm going to go Cohen first too. I thought it was a fair performance, above average, so I wouldn't argue with anybody. 6.5. I am still in my mind requiring a more. You see, that you are put in the engine room, so to speak, of the team. Your team depends on you. And the fact that you go there, when you do you you don't get for that because that's why you're there. It's when you do something over and above that you get special marks. I didn't think he did something over and above. So his mark would be there. As it relates to Mackenzie, and I hope all the persons who are defined pillowmen listen to me carefully. If you rate a car as a high performance car and it fails to perform at that level, the car is going to be relabeled as a salad. The hype you place on certain players increases the expectation on that player in that position, especially when the team is not just reliant on the player in that position, but in any team at all, that position has to fire for the team's greatest positive output. Because of the hype that Mackenzie is afforded and the level of performance that he put out, in my book, which might be unfair to the player himself, because it is not the player that hype himself, his performance would be as low as a 5.5. Only because I think that, to be fair, he would have been just about average. The hype would have taken him down, which might not be fair to him. You cannot say Messi is turning up in our midfield and all you see on show is Pascal Blake. There's a great disparity between Messi's ball handling skills and Blake. And so that, in the minds of people watching the game, is a big letdown.
Okay. Are you finished, sir?
I stopped.
Okay, I'm just asking. You just talked about Messi and said it would have been you tried to make it seem like there's one part of the game Messi would have had above you. Like you can't finish.
Messi cannot defend like me, and I am not arguing that.
All right. We're not gonna argue either.
The same way I cannot be considered in the argument with Messi playing, and Messi can't keep goal good like me neither. But anywhere else on the field, I am not in the argument at all. I'm not in the conversation.
All right, but I just love the way you just inject yourself in a Messi conversation.
No. This is not about me and Messi. This is about that JD, behave yourself, please. Me and Messi is in no conversation. Me and Messi is not in no conversation.
I was just shocked that we end up talking about Messi and Pasta, you know?
This is history.
Jason, do not encourage JD in those kind of shenanigans, please.
No, Pastor, JD don't have to say a thing. You have said enough.
In now get to me, I try saying that Jason, because me I try to protect the man, you know, and the man I try to say so much things, but just left him alone. So people, I know you know the Pastor is that great. You know, I'm gonna argue with him.
I thought you was gonna say you could have catch beer better than Messi, but you put football in it. Wow.
No, Jason, let me tell you this. Think about the more rational side of the most dangerous defender in Jamaica's local football. And you would be thinking about Pastor Blake. I bust lace on the penalty spot and the referee is not considering a penalty.
And the referee give you a red card afterwards.
No. You're not listening. He's not considered because it's a clean tackle. But that player is not happy. Good.
Pastor, tomorrow can do
good.
That, Pastor. Let's help me So anyways, so let's move on to Simmonds, Jason Simmonds. We're gonna just stop on Simmonds. We will deal with the rest of the players that came on.
We have Ainsworth and Simmonds, but I'll do Simmonds first.
Ian Georgia.
So Simmonds, look, I will have to hold my hands up. When the squad came out, I was extremely surprised this young man was on there. I thought there was other people that could have maybe got the spot. But after watching 2 games of this squad, how it is comprised, I don't believe there's a situation where Simmonds can come off the field because he's the only forward in the team that have the ability to hold up the ball and push the line back. So for those reasons, also another thing I noticed today, he has extremely good sense of movement in the box.
Yes.
Because he found himself in space in the box so many times
between
for such a big player. That is not something that is either a natural ability or someone has developed him into that type of player. And I want to say it's the development side because I saw him playing forward in the U17 and he looked like he hadn't quite grasped that concept as yet. But it looks like, for one, he's learning that he's a big guy and he can use his body to gain positioning. And for 2, he's not static as a big forward, which is an excellent talent to have. He's still mobile with all that size. And so I think I think this is a player that we need to keep tracking because the amount of improvement I have seen in 1 year is great. So that simply means if he continues on this path, 2-3 years time, you never know what he's going to be. So that's a lot being said. But as far as his rating goes, I would have to give him the highest rating on the pitch. Had a goal, had an assist, and pretty much had a hand in everything dangerous that happened. So I would give him a 9 for today's performance.
And people, his controlling is not the best. We know you guys said that, but I can't disagree with what Jason said. Because remember when you were burning him out, I said keep him on the field because remember we have to look at what connects the play, because with him, now we realize, what we learned in the end. Just mute your mic. You look like now we learn when we have Reynolds come on instead of him. What Reynolds does. He's going to run up and down over there, but he's not taking away anybody from their own positions. He's taking on a one-on-one player, which is not, he passes, and sometimes the cross is not going to be good enough, or the 2 players will be already there waiting for it. This guy is taking back, pushing back them. That's why Jamaica got that space today. You understand me? So even though you would say he's not the most technical player, the other guys, they ain't technical either. You understand me?
And to be honest, JD, when they say he's not technical, they must be referring to just like step overs and skills because
him don't look fluid because
his one-touch passing with his back turn was very good.
And I remember he's the only one got two players and got the shot off. So are those things not technical? Because I thought they were. But
JD, I was going to leave him for last since he's the one that says not good.
Yeah, but Pastor, me even don't tell me I say. You just take over my say. Me can't even say anything. Because
no, I don't intend to take over your say. Say your say.
All right, so Professional Pro Club, yes, he's going to come down to Bermuda. Can we beat Bermuda? Yes. Is it a surety? No. I think it's going to be another 50-50 game. If not, maybe a 49-51% game. I don't know who the 1% will go to. But it might can go to any one of them.
That will be 2%, JD, not 1.
Oh God, I don't know. Yes, so it's gonna come down to the final day, and it's gonna be all sorts of excitement, So
all right.
I'm here for it. Oh, okay, Pastor, take it away because it seems to want to take me out of the conversation. So go ahead.
No, you see, you went on to something else before I spoke on the player.
Okay, all right. Let's go ahead, Pastor. Go ahead, take it away so we can finish the show. What we
JD,
do the next program tomorrow for
the
myself?
life for the life of me, the player who is doing the only thing that makes us push back the opposition is the player that is not good. Again, I don't know that these commenters in the chat, and I deliberately did not respond or comment on any of those comments. If it is that is football they watch, or if it is particular personnel on the field that they watch. Because football requires certain kind of attributes that the guy was displaying. As a big unit, that might be he has to improve his controlling significantly. But having an eye for your teammates getting into positions to put you in a winning position, you have to applaud the young man's effort. I think maybe about 5 or 6 occasions where a better mindset from the players coming on, we would have been in a better position, because when they would have gone with the ball, if they had realized that he had turned away from the player, they would have given him back the ball, which would have made our offense look better. The reality is, technicality in our players is not at the highest level in the fullest definition of the word, but you cannot say the player is not technical when you're going to assess him and he's going to be competent in 3 or 4 departments, and of those 3 departments he's doing exactly what is required in 2 of them. So it is not fair to say the young man is not technical. And I don't think I would rate him as high as a 9, but I would rate him as the highest rated player on the field. So I would go 8.5, since that may very well be the highest mark that I have given out.
8.5. All right. Thank you, sir. Pastor. All right. So, Christopher Ainsworth was the last one. You wanted to touch on Christopher Ainsworth, and then we can finish up the show.
Another player that pretty much I don't. Not many of the players showered themselves in glory. I'm going to grade him at probably about a 7.25, because of the role he played for the minutes he's on the park, and teaming up with his team up play pretty much would be valued, in that he created the kind of pull on the players to take them out of place for others. But I don't think that there is anybody away from Simmonds that I would say over the top, and I don't think we rated Simmonds over the top either. But certainly I gave Reed a 7.5, so Ainsworth would probably be a 7.
All right. Jason, give you a final point, and then we're out a year until tomorrow.
Yeah, so Christopher Ainsworth, I thought, again, just a player that definitely has the industry to be a professional player, just full of energy, full of a motor. I think for him tonight, it just seemed like he could never get himself under control. He seemed like the ball was fumbling off of him when he was trying to execute his moves. The one time or the couple times when he did get around his marker, he did have some dangerous delivery, and one of them did cause a goal from an assist. But I think, I think even he himself would probably say, boy, he would want to do more in these 2 games so far. But hopefully he can put it all together in the 3rd game, because I do think there's a player there. I just don't think that we have seen the best of him. I don't think we have seen the best of him. We're just getting it in little bursts of time now, and it's just for him to put a big performance together. But he has it in him. But for tonight, with the assist, I'm going to give him a 7.5.
7.5. All right. So, people, you heard it from the great pastor and Jason Guna, myself, obviously. It's a little bit late for me. Everyone checked in. Hope you guys got to see the game as much people as possible. We're trying to improve the thing, and we're improving it. All right, I'm gonna try and add a third stream to it. So, because I realize it's getting more and more, because obviously it's serving a purpose.
By the way, JD, do you know if anybody had a chance to use the third one? Because I had it open, you know.
Well, I don't know as yet. I will check it later. No, tomorrow. Later I will check because it's already tomorrow. It's already today. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, man. But obviously, people that ask, so clearly people have to check it, you know. So, but I don't know how much exactly. But we will be doing it. So, thanks it again, everyone. Smash the like button on your way out, and let with us hope that they do their best, and hope the coach and the people that makes the final decision actually knows what's at stake. All right, see you in the next one, guys. Peace out. Bye-bye.